We have officially started our deer season prep. This is Pat Kalmerton, and I am in the process of getting all my trail cameras ready to rock, deleting all the past content on them, changing all the batteries. We're getting the new cameras from SpyPoint up and connected to my phone, and we're gonna go set them. You know, mosquitoes are bad. We've had a ton of rain this year, but it's time. It's time to start knowing what these deer are doing, especially early season patterns, stuff like that. So, the biggest thing when it comes down to any cameras is, for the longest time, I was running regular trail cameras out in the the woods, and I found myself right when I set them, I was seeing some really good deer, right? And after a while, I started noticing that those really good deer started changing their patterns. And it's not so much because of the the way the animal is working, but more because of me being Curious George, right? So every time I would go out there, I would switch over and look at cameras and all that other good stuff, and they would kind of pattern me. So I switched over. The longest time, I didn't know the difference between cell cameras, right? So cell cameras, some of them need plans, some of them don't, whatever the case may be. What I like about SpyPoint, and I didn't understand this until I started using them, is SpyPoint has an app, right? So you basically, let's say I get this Force Pro S 2.0, okay, which is a solar trail camera and everything like that. So that one there is not a cell phone camera, all right? So that one is going to take solar and keep the battery charged. But I'm going to put that at easy access so I can get to the card. I'm not, busting those those deer out of there. Now on the other side is I'm going to get into the cellular trail cameras. Okay, so the cellular trail camera right here, and this is the Flex Plus, behind that. And the Force 48 is also a just a single trail camera, right? So I'm going to put that up high. But then I'm going to get into the Flex M and some of the micros over here. See, they have the antenna. So anything that has the antenna. So let's say this one right here, the Flex M, has the antenna. You see that antenna that goes up? So that there is a cell phone camera. Cell phone cameras I'm going to place in the areas that I do not want to disturb. Now I know that I'm not going to put them down on the bottom of the valley because I'm not going to get a lot of pictures, but the ones that are the solar cameras, I'm going to put those at the base of my tree stands down where there's not very much cell phone coverage, right? Because I'm going down there, I'm going to be hunting that stand. I can pull that card while I'm sitting in the stand. I can look at that card, and when I exit that stand, I can put the card back in after deleting what I don't want to delete and go from there. Whereas the cell cams, I'm going to put those as my scouting device, right? I'm going to take those, I'm going to put them on the trails that I'm curious. Going back to Curious George again, I'm going to put them on the trails that go back and forth. And I'm going to run those cameras parallel, right? So what I want to do is I want to get as many possible pictures of those animals as possible. So I'm going to point them down the trail. So I'm going to get them coming and going. I'm going to see the spread. I'm going to be able to see their heads when they turn different ways while they look around and they walk, right? The other thing that you want to concentrate on when you're doing cameras is when you are placing them, right? Everybody talks about, oh, I got 1,000 pictures of nothing. Well, that might be your very own fault, okay? So you can, if you put weeds in front of it, or if you put it too low in the weeds that are blowing, those are going to set them off, right? Or if you have a tree, you know, with branches that hang down below it, and those branches are going to move, obviously, every time the wind blows, so that's going to set it off. Anytime that there's, you know, there's squirrels jumping in front of them on the ground or in the trees, that's going to set them off. If you have an area as far as where the sun hits you, you never want to place these things straight into the sun. So east or west is a no-no, right? Because you're going to get that sun that's blowing right into the camera, and it's going to create those waves that make the camera go off. So that's one thing that you never want to do, is place them right into the camera. So what I have is, I'm going to move a couple of things around. I'm going to just show you the differences again real quick. So here's my camera setups. I'm formatting cards. You want to make sure that they're formatted. I am making sure that they're ready to go. I have a couple of different styles of stands. So this one here is going to be out in the middle of a field. You see how I have a solar cell camera that maybe I have a prairie, tall grass, doesn't have trees anywhere. This is where I'm going to put this. I'm going to put this in the bedding. Has a stick style. I can just push it down into solar. I don't have to walk in there. It's going to collect the sunlight to charge the batteries that I started off, brand new batteries, and it's going to run off the solar first and then the battery second. And this is going to be the Flex S, is being the Spy Point Flex Solar. That's what the S stands for. There is your antenna coming down through, and I'm going to put that in the bedding area that there is tall grass, no trees, but yet it has that long stick. It has the solar, so I never have to walk in there. It's going to stay charged the entire time. Now the next camera I'm going to place is going to be this one here, which is the Force Pro S. All right, so the Force Pro, it doesn't have an antenna, right? No antenna, so it's not a cell phone camera. And that cell phone camera, what we're going to do is we're going to put it down by the tree stand so the sun hits it. I don't have to worry about the signal from a cell phone tower, so I can put it down on the bottom. It's going to collect pictures, and then when I get up to go shoot myself a deer right there, right, I'm going to sit in the stand, I'm going to look at those cameras, and we're going to go from there. Now we have a lot of different options, right? So the Micro Link, most reliable camera that I own. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you, this camera will shoot pictures constantly. I will get content. I will know what's moving. The clarity is not the greatest, but with that being said, I'm going to put this up on all the public land stuff, right? I'm going to take this, put it up on the public land stuff, and we're going to roll it that way. It is a camera that will not go through a ton of battery, and it's reliable. It's going to go. I got multiple of these, and these are by far the ones that I never have to worry about taking off. So I'm going to put them up on public land. I got 3 of those I'm going to go set right now. And then we're going to get into the Flex, G36s, and I got the regular Flex right here. Those are all cell cameras, right? So cell cameras I'm going to place on field edges, anything that I'm planning on hunting. I want to know the movement on what's going on and go from there. So again, I have the solar cameras, hard to reach places. With a cell phone, I don't have very good coverage. I'm going to put those on the bottom areas that I frequent often. And the only reason being is so I can check those cards and make sure I'm not missing any movement. And when I say frequent often, I'm talking right at the base of my stand, because I'm going to be hunting those quite a bit anyways. Then I got my trail cameras with the the cellular. All my cell cameras, those are my eyes away from my stands, right? I'm not going to put those right at the base of my stands, because I already know what's going on at the base of my stands, because I'm going to be hunting quite often. The cellular cameras, those are going to be the ones that are going to tell me what is moving, when they're moving, how they're moving. Now, with that being said, I have another little tidbit for you, is when you are running trail cameras like this, okay, you want to A, make sure that they're clear, B, make sure that they're not pointing into the sun or away from the sun. You want to minimize your smell as much as possible. So I'm going to, I mean, early like this, it doesn't really matter. You can get away with it, but you're not going to want to do much other going back and forth and placing a lot of stuff. I'm going to make sure that all my batteries are charged, all my cards are formatted. But then I have my lineup of pods, right? So here, right there, I go to St. Vinny's or anything else, and I can take these pods and put them eye level coming down the trail, because a lot of times I like to know what's going on. So if I can find scrapes, rubs, anything like that, again, we're too early, but once they start moving, instead of putting them on the trees with the straps, if you have areas that just doesn't work perfectly, take these bad boys, throw a string across the bottom, stake them down, or push them into the ground, and you're not going to have any issues. So there you go, trail cameras. Let's go set some. This is going to be fun. This is going to be an exciting year. Kids are getting more involved and all of that. So what do you think, guys?
It's really cool. Oh, this!
Hey.
What?
So this is what we got going on here. So this tree, under all of this canopy, I didn't know if we would get cell phone service or cell phone stuff, but this is telling me that it is. Oh, now it's not. See, the status button is red. It's going back and forth. If you read right here, you got searching for signal, good light, good signal, fair signal, no signal. Right now it's saying no signal, but just before it caught pictures and it sent it to us.
Red.
Yeah, it was flashing red, but now it's all red. So all red means what? No signal, right? Or what does it? What does all red mean?
What is this it?
Yep, that's the signal button. What does that mean?
Red. No signal.
No signal. So maybe that's not the best place for that, right? Because we're not getting signal. But what we want to do is, because of this trail right here, see that trail right there?
Yeah.
And how that's running through?
Yeah.
What are you walking right now, Monty?
A trail.
And where's the dog running? A trail, right? And where does the trail go from there? See that? You can see that trail that she is walking and the dog is running. Those deer will do the exact same thing, and then it comes down this way. And this is a property line from the neighbor to ours. And you see why this trail is so predominant right here, because right there, right here, is the fence, right? So that there is a fence that comes through. And over here, that fence is higher. See how that fence is higher? So those animals are running the side of that fence, just inside of the fence. And this is normal on all properties, that those animals are running the side of the fence, and this fence is going and it's going and it's going and it's going, and boom, right here. This log that fell a long time ago busted this fence down, and notice how that trail coming right down through here now all of a sudden goes that way, and this trail going this way is not as predominant anymore. So what that is these animals, you want to find areas like that your trail comes, boom, and now all of a sudden they go down. So that could have been a problem. So when I put it up here and I put it on the tree, I was looking at that status light, and that status light was telling me blue. And I come in here and blue is no card, and I know I put a card in there. So when I was setting it up and messing around, the card fell right in the weeds. And look at what's all the way around it. Darn you. I got it now. I got it. Make sure that you pay attention while you're doing your cards. Ooh, beans are looking good. Last night there was a doe down here eating last night. Tracks all over the place. We're going to keep a closer eye on them. Here we got our camera on our tripod stick down. We lost our apple tree. That was our apple tree that the deer used to be attracted to, and now obviously the wind got it. Here we have a stand. So we're just keeping an eye on everything. You know, if you look at the stand here, what we have is we have a clear shooting lane cut out, safety rope already up there, checking the stands, make sure that they're good to go. We got beans. Here's a rubbing tree. A lot of times they'll come up and look there and make a scrape right there. You got a bunch of rubs that are usually along this fence line. We'll go in there and take a look at it. But then here's the setup right here. You know, just our tripod on, you know, the micro link, and it's going to tell us what's moving around out here. So that sucks that that tree is gone. We'll go down, set a camera down on the bottom here. My goodness. So we had some hellacious windstorms, and you can tell a lot of these big trees have just been up and rooted and laid down and going all over the place. This is crazy. Holy mackerel, this is the first time that I've been down here, but there are trees, big trees, uprooted all over the place. So that's going to change a deer's movement, that's for sure. There's going to be a lot more deer hanging around down in here because of all the cover and all the deadfall. I mean, when I'd say big, look at that stuff. They're going to feel safe in there. So we're going to find a good trail down through here and put a camera up. Here's one of the best trails that I had coming up through all those blowdowns. It's a really good trail coming down through. They have it worn down all the way down through. You can see where it's coming through the brush down there. See that trail coming down through? Well, anyhow. This looks like a really good spot. Comes out from heavy to thick, you know. And then, oh, what was that? There it is. Remember how I was talking between the cellular and the regular? So that one there is just a solar. See all the cloud cover. Now I'm not too worried about it actually charging down here, but I want to know what's coming up this trail. And I have one set up over there too. And the main reason is, uh-oh, look at that. Somebody must have scouted this area before. Oh, I'm so silly. It's mine. It's mine. But here we go. Find me some deers, baby. Whew. Wow. It's hot out here. It's mid-80s. Nothing looks the same. Big windstorms. Great big trees and roots all blown up. Wow. This is the bedding area that I had a bunch of decent deer bedding in. And this here is a big apple tree. And the apple tree has been doing really, really good as far as deer population and stuff. You can see, well, this is acorns. Sorry, I'm one off. These are all acorns. This is a big oak tree. So you can see the cluster of acorns right there. So those are going to be a food source all year round. But this bad boy right here, holy man, this thing is just chocked full of apples this year. So that's going to be an early food source. So I'm going to place my last camera on the trunk of this tree, looking at the acorns, looking at the apples, and watching these deer eat. So here it is, the last one, gaining status right now as we speak, sitting under this apple tree. That is going to be a good source of apples early, and then pointing that way, because that is all oak tree, and these deer are going to come up in here and feed off of the apples and oaks and stuff like that in here. So it's the last one, searching for status. One thing that you want to do, see how I have this stick right here. That stick is propped in there to level it off, otherwise it'll be pointing right at the ground. Make sure it's that. Make sure that you take it and point it out a little bit so you have signal. We'll come in. We are green and good to go. Cameras are set on the property. Here we go.